Hi, I'm Andrea Pino, and I'm the Digital Strategy and Communications Manager at the National Center for Lesbian Rights. And my vision is a world in which intersectionality is put into practice and not just theory. I do think that the movement to end sexual violence has changed, but I do think it's important to recognize that the people who were doing this work before me, predominantly women of color, women in the LGBT community who've been fighting for this issue, fighting for safe spaces for sex workers, as well as for trans women of color, have been doing this work for a very long time before it was an issue that was gaining any media coverage. So when I first came forward and I filed a Title IX complaint against the University of North Carolina, where I went to school, it was still very much new legal territory, and it definitely wasn't something that 20-somethings were doing. I was literally a 20-year-old woman taking on a 200-year-old university, something that at the time made me a pariah, made me an outcast. No one thought that I would be successful in making this a conversation, not at my university and much less a national conversation. So to see it evolve since 2012 and 2013 when I came forward, has been very encouraging, but I think also there's a lot more to do. I mean, this is definitely still something that is happening every day, and I think it's really on us, those of us that have come forward, to encourage young people to be part of the conversation as well. What's so important about the conversation to end gender-based violence and harassment is that it's really about power. Anyone can be impacted by sexual violence. Anyone can be a victim. Anyone can be a perpetrator. And the reality is that there is a lot of inequity in our campuses, simply by being a person of color, by being a first-generation student, working class, an LGBT student, you're coming into the campus with that inequity. And it's impossible for universities to truly eradicate sexual violence if we don't eradicate the power structures at our universities. We need to create a climate in which all students feel safe coming forward. And before that happens, all students need to feel safe at their university when they get there. They need to feel safe asking for help in their classes. They need to feel safe asking for resources. Because if we don't actually tackle that inequity on campuses, why would a student ever want to come forward if they don't even feel that they're going to be believed when they ask for accommodations? We have to look at truly supporting students in becoming students again, because I didn't go to school to end gender-based violence. I went to school to be a student. And as a first-generation Latino student, there was a lot of baggage that came with that. I was the first one to make it. And even when I stepped foot on campus, I didn't feel like I belonged, and that in itself set a stage for me not to feel safe coming forward. And my story is one of many stories of students across the country who don't feel that they can come forward because their university doesn't create a climate in which they feel that they belong.